Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. Now, when it's all said and done, that fight between Tank and Ryan Garcia may end up doing bigger numbers. I mean, we all know how popular Tank is, and we all know how popular Ryan Garcia is, right? Particularly amongst these casual fans with the social media and everything. So that one may end up doing bigger numbers. But when we're talking about a bigger fight, when we're talking about something that's more relevant to the division, more relevant to boxing, we're talking about Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. Man, this is it. This is for all the belts, right? This is for all of it. So thinking about this fight, we knew this fight was going to happen for a while, right? Had been thinking about it for a while. I bet you if you went back and looked at my video post-fight, Lomachenko's last fight, right, when he fought Jermaine Ortiz, I bet you if you went back and looked at that fight, I was talking about what I think would happen if in his next fight, Loma was going to be fighting Devin Haney. And I believe that I put a poll up on the site asking who do you think would win this fight if it happened in early 2023. And I want to say somewhere to 60 to 70% of people picked Devin Haney. And I already had my mind made up about it. I had thought about it for the longest. And I'll say the same thing. I was going with Devin Haney, and I was going with him for all the reasons that we already know. Bigger, taller, longer. That jab is ridiculous. Dude, I made a video the other day talking about that jab. I think you can make a very strong argument that Devin Haney's got the best jab in boxing, dude. It's so sharp. It's so crisp. It's accurate. He knows how to shoot it. He doesn't have to take a step with it. He can control the distance with it and the range. He knows how to clinch and then get back to a position to use it some more. He can use it as a counter to stifle the other guy's rhythm and his timing. He can just do so many things with it, right? But as the fight got a little bit closer, I still had to do the handicapping. Still had to actually break things down. It's not enough to just know what's going on. It's not enough to just think about past fights, no matter how intently we watched them at the time. You want to go back, you want to really break down that film, and you want to think about how these styles are going to match up. And the fight that I had to go to, the fight that all of a sudden got me thinking, was the fight when Devin Haney fought Jojo Diaz. And I think that's a really interesting fight because that's the last time he fought a southpaw. And we all know that Jojo Diaz is a legit fighter. And when you go back and you watch that fight, Devin Haney's jab ain't getting off like we're accustomed to seeing. Devin Haney's getting backed up. Jojo Diaz is coming in there. Mind you, this is a man who moved up from 130 pounds. He's coming in there, and he's basically just walking forward using the pressure that he's known for, and he's able to get off with good left hands. He's able to go upstairs. He's able to work down to the body. He's able to get a lot of shots off. Now, it's true. Ultimately, he ended up losing that fight, but we saw him get a lot of work done. Did we see him get done more work than Jorge Linares? I mean, we saw Jorge Linares hurt Devin Haney, and towards the end of that fight, I want to say it was the 10th round, and that's the one that everybody knows, but make no mistake about it, dude. Jorge Linares, a guy who I think has beautiful boxing, incredibly skilled. When we're talking about, especially offensively, he was out there and Devin Haney was putting on. Did Jojo Diaz get more work done than George Kambosos in either one of those fights? Right? Think about the way Kambosos was able to be controlled with that jab. A big part of me thinks that Devin Haney isn't able to get that jab off as effectively against southpaws, and he's not able to get that jab off and get things going as effectively if he's the guy backing up. So it leads me to think, is he going to be able to get that jab off against Vasiliy Lomachenko? Is Lomachenko going to be able to apply the type of pressure or not allow Devin Haney to come forward and apply the type of pressure that he needs to, like we saw against Kambosos? Like, how exactly is that going to play out? Because make no mistake about it, Vasiliy Lomachenko is far more skilled than Jojo Diaz. If Jojo Diaz was able to get that left hand off, if he was able to go upstairs with it, if he was able to just put up a high guard, catch a lot of shots, walk forward, and end up landing shots to the body, why can't Lomachenko do the same thing? Except, why can't he do it a little bit better in the sense that he's not just going to put up a high guard and walk forward? Why isn't he going to be able to use a lot of feints, cuts and angles? Why is he going to be able to work the jab a little bit better? Why is he going to be able to mix up the shots a little bit more? I mean, everybody talks about, Lomachenko not being known as this great knockout guy. Yeah, he doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but make no mistake about it, he's got enough pop that he's able to keep guys honest. I think he's probably got more punching power than Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney has gone in there and he's landed some really beautiful, clean shots on guys, and he hasn't been able to get them out of there. So when they did an interview with Kambosos talking about the power that Devin Haney had, he rated it around like a 6 or 7. He's like, it's got some nice sting, it's explosive, this and that, but it's not the type of power that's going to get you out of there unless he's able to hit you with a shot that you don't see. And I wonder about Devin Haney's chin. What's going to happen if Loma just, he starts to come forward in a way that he wants to get around that. He starts to work around that jab to the weak side away from Haney's right hand, and he just starts to lean into those left hands. Again, we saw them land against Jojo Diaz. We saw that. And dude, now it's just got me thinking. Now it's got me wondering. Then all of a sudden, we go into the weigh-in and we see the face-off. And we see what... There's only one or two ways that this can be interpreted. We saw the big push that Devin Haney went, right? He goes up there, he's talking a little bit, he tells him too small, tells him he's going to beat him up, and then he surprises him and pushes Lomachenko with the big push. Right? And there's only two ways to interpret that. Did he push him because it's nervous energy? Did he push him because he's a little bit anxious and he's kind of worked up because the fight's so huge? Or did he push him because he's trying to get into his head? Right? Earlier, he's been calling him a dirty fighter. Now, I believe he was calling him a dirty fighter because he was trying to get into his head. He's trying to let him know what he's going to do. He's probably going to mention these types of things to the ref. But that's a night. Was it about selling the fight? Interesting. Usually when you see people at these face-offs and they're amped up, man, and they're worked up, that's nervous energy that you see. And look, Devin Haney can say whatever he wants. But I clearly remember after Devin Haney fought Jorge Linares, he's sitting back there. He's in the locker room. He's talking to him. The camera's back there. And he's asking him, how is my power compared to Loma? How is my speed compared to Loma? Dude, you could tell by the way that he was saying it. He had so much respect for Lomachenko because he knew at the time that he was saying it, Lomachenko was at the tippy top of the mountain. And he was there for a really long time. Which means as Devin Haney was coming up the ranks, he was consistently comparing himself to the best. That's what everybody does. Right, it's totally normal. But you could tell that he was doing it in a way that he had a tremendous amount of respect for Lomachenko and Lomachenko's skills. And now all of a sudden he's in there. Dude, that doesn't just go away. That doesn't just disappear. If he realizes what Lomachenko is bringing to the table. He knows how big this fight is, dude. It's absolutely huge. Yeah, he was over in Australia and there was a huge crowd and it's enemy territory for the belt. But I got to imagine when he's right here in Las Vegas and now he's fighting Lomachenko, that this fight with all the media and the press, it's probably bigger. Dude, the lights are so intense. And he's like, now I'm finally here. Interesting, man. All little wrinkles, right? And then he pushes him and Lomachenko comes out and he seems incredibly confident afterwards. He's getting interviewed and he's like, dude, I felt his power. Not impressed at all. He's mine. I got him. Man, after Devin Haney laid his hands on him, it seemed like Lomachenko got more confident. That makes me think too. See, here's the thing. When I just look at it from an analytical standpoint, I just break this down a little bit. My head definitely wants to go with Devin Haney. I mean, like I said, he's younger, he's bigger, he's taller. He's physically got some strength. He's got the ridiculous jab. He knows how to work some good right hands behind it. We've seen him work the left hook as well. I mean, when he keeps a guy on the outside, because that's where his range is, that's where his distance. He likes to be on the outside. When he keeps a guy on the outside and he can really frame up that shot, it's almost more than anybody can handle, right? We see him go out there and he looks beautiful when he does it. But what if Lomachenko's able to get inside that distance? What if he's able to get inside and make it a mid-range fight? What if he's able to get inside a little bit closer? Dude, I think Devin Haney will have some real problems. I don't think he's going to be able to mess with Lomachenko on the inside like that. If it gets to mid-range, I think he's going to have some real problems. And the other thing is, like I mentioned Devin Haney's chin before. I don't know. When he got rocked by Linares, he never really fully recovered, dude. I mean, he's known for all this clinching, and he did a lot of it in the 11th and the 12th round. And I don't know about his adjustments. I don't know how he's going to be able to handle if he gets hurt or if all of a sudden he gets behind and he needs to do something different. Is he going to get panicked? Is he going to get worried a little bit about it, dude? Like, oh, there's so many questions going back and forth about this one. And like I said, we've got clear paths to victory for each man. If you told me the distance that the majority of this fight was going to be fought at, I feel pretty confident that I could tell you what the winner was going to be. But, as we're going up to this one and it's going back and forth, and like I said, my head just tells me all day long that Devin Haney's going to win this fight. But there's just this little voice in the back. There's just this little voice in the background that tells me that for some reason the underdog's going to come out with it, right? And it's like there's this saying that I heard a long time ago that every great fighter has one last great fight in him. And what if this is Lomachenko's last great fight? Right? What if we've seen him after these fights with Teofimo Lopez, Nakatani, Comey, Jermaine Ortiz? This isn't the best Lomachenko we've ever seen. There's nobody looking after these fights saying, oh man, Lomachenko top of the mountain. He's going to go out there. He's going to get it back. Nobody's saying that after those performances. He didn't look good. Devin Haney's got all the momentum, man. He's going to rehydrate. Had that early weigh-in, dude. He's going to come in. He's going to be huge. He's going to be beastly. But But I don't know, man. Part of me just feels like Lomachenko's going to go in there with that ring IQ and he's just going to figure it out. And he's just going to find a way to start backing Devin Haney up and to start landing those shots. And he's going to negate that jab. He's going to get into the mid-range, dude. And he's going to start to work angles. And he's not going to quite have the foot speed that he used to, but he's going to be able to figure out a way. He's going to find out a way to be just clever and tricky as a veteran and get it done. So, oh, man, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't bet on Devin Haney because of the line. You're looking at anywhere from like minus 260 all the way up to potentially minus 300, depending on where you're getting it. I think the fight's far closer than that. And part of me really feels like there's a chance that Lomachenko could come out with the win on this one. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, as I sit here and I have to pick a winner because we're doing an analysis and the prediction for the fight, I'm actually gonna pick him, dude. I'm gonna change my mind after all this time, after really looking at that fight with Jojo Diaz, seeing what I'm going to perceive to be a little bit of nervous energy coming off of Devin Haney and the extreme confidence that Lomachenko felt after Haney pushed him. Dude, I think he's gonna pull the upset. I think he's gonna figure out a way to turn back the clock for this one fight, and this is gonna be the one time, and we see Lomachenko pull the rabbit out the hat, man, and he figures out a way to get the victory. So I know it sounds a little bit crazy coming out of my mouth. Like I said, I had my mind made up to this one going up to it, and I thought we were going with Devin Haney for the longest. But I don't know, man. I don't know. So, let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy on this one? Am I way off base? I mean, we all know what Devin Haney brings to the table. I got nothing but praise for the man, but there's just something about it that tells me Loma's going to figure out a way to get it done. So, let me know if I'm off base with this one. Let me know what you guys think about it. No matter what, I can't wait to see how this fight goes. Let me know what you guys think.